Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, January 16th, 2026. College basketball, NBA, NHL, soccer, NFL divisional round, golf on this day, news and notes, and best bet. We will begin with college basketball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. NJIT over UMass Lowell, 73-64. Bryant over UMBC, 79-74 in OT. Mercer over VMI, 77-67. Liberty over New Mexico State, 73-71. IU Indy over Robert Morris, 96-93 in OT. Albany over Binghamton, 69-53. App State over James Madison, 80-65. Wright State over Youngstown State, 93-83. Oakland over Milwaukee, 73-60. Northern Kentucky over Detroit Mercy, 96-71. Green Bay over Cleveland State, 88-73. Vermont over Maine, 67-62. Northeastern over Elon, 85-78. William & Mary over NCAT, 97-89. Drexel over Monmouth, 73-51. Stony Brook over Hofstra, 76-71. UNC Greensboro over the Citadel, 69-66 in OT. Georgia Southern over Old Dominion, 87-84. Stetson over West Georgia, 95-86. Queens over Florida Gulf Coast, 85-74. North Florida over North Alabama, 105-91. UTEP over Delaware, 70-69. Central Arkansas over Jacksonville, 62-60. South Dakota over Kansas City, 99-83. St. Thomas over North Dakota, 91-80. Towson over Charleston, 61-52. South Alabama over Arkansas State, 91-87 in OT. Austin P over Eastern Kentucky, 74-72. Lipscomb over Bellarmine, 81-71. Cal Baptist over Abilene Christian, 74-58. Tennessee Martin over SIU Edwardsville, 65-59. Tennessee State over Morgan State, 105-100 in OT. Little Rock over Eastern Illinois, 74-63. Southern Utah over Tarleton State, 106-105 in OT. Florida Atlantic over Wichita State, 85-67. UC Davis over Fullerton, 74-69. Idaho State over Idaho, 76-68. Weber State over Eastern Washington, 91-80. Southern Indiana over Tennessee Tech, 71-54. Lindenwood over Southeast Missouri, 88-76. So best bet easy winner. Texas Arlington over Utah Tech, 56-52. Santa Barbara over Bakersfield, 79-69. Seattle over San Diego, 75-64. Long Beach State over UC Riverside, 88-73. Hawaii over Cal Poly, 86-66. Cal State Northridge over UC San Diego, 84-79. Portland State over Northern Colorado, 76-73. Sacramento State over Northern Arizona, 83-69. And number 9, Gonzaga over Washington State, 86-65. All right, not a big slate tonight at all. 6:30, Fox Sports 1, Creighton, Providence. My line is Creighton by 1.7. And it is 1.5, 162.5. Under, too high. CBS Sports Network, Toledo, Kent State. My line is Kent State 3.7. 4.5, 168.5. Under. Another one that's too high. 8 o'clock on Fox, Baylor, Kansas. Great game. My line's Kansas 7.5, and that's what it is. 157.5 the total. I'll go over on that one. ESPN 2, 8:30. Loyola Chicago, Dayton. My line is Dayton 16-3 and a 16.5, 142.5. God, I've been nailing these lines. Over. Fox Sports 1, Marquette, DePaul. I have DePaul 5.7. It's 2.5, 144.5. I'll lay 2.5 with DePaul. CBS Sports Network, Ohio, Ball State. I have Ohio 7.7. It's 5.5, 147.5. I'll go over. And 10:30, Fox Sports 1, Colorado State, Boise State. I have Boise 1.8. It's 5.5, 130.5. I love Colorado State plus 5.5. Love it. I think Boise is one of the most overrated teams in the country. All right, Saturday. 12 o'clock, Fox. Number 3, UConn, Georgetown. 12 o'clock, Big Ten, Minnesota. Number 13, Illinois. ESPN 2, number 16, Virginia, SMU. ESPN, Kentucky, number 24, Tennessee. TNT, Butler, number 25, Seton Hall. ACC Network, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech. C-Dub, Georgia Tech, NC State. Mountain Mary's, Canisius. CBS Sports Network, Elon Hofstra. 12:30, USA, Duquesne, Fordham. 1 o'clock, SEC Network, number 18, Alabama, Oklahoma. CBS, UCLA, Ohio State. Holy Cross, Lafayette, BU. Loyola, Maryland. Eastern Michigan, Bowling Green. Buffalo, Miami of Ohio. Wagner, New Haven. Chattanooga, Western Carolina. Old Dominion, App State. 2 o'clock, NBCSN, number 2, Iowa State, Cincinnati. ESPN, number 19, Florida, number 10, Vanderbilt. ESPN 2, Bradley, Illinois State. Bucknell, Colgate. TNT, TCU, Utah. Big Ten Network was Rutgers at Wisconsin. On Fox, Iowa, Indiana. Winthrop, UNC, Asheville. Presbyterian, Gardner Webb. Rider, St. Peter's. ACC Network, Syracuse, BC. Navy, Lehigh. Columbia, Brown. St. Thomas, North Dakota State. South Dakota, North Dakota. Cornell, Yale. Youngstown, Cleveland State. Detroit, Mercy, IU, Indy. Western Michigan, Akron. Fairfield, Marciana, Manhattan. Princeton, Harvard, Stone, excuse me, Stonehill, Mercyhurst, Central Connecticut, St. Francis, Lemoyne, Chicago State, CBS Sports Arc, East Tennessee, Stanford, West Georgia, Florida, Gulf Coast, Queens, Stetson, North Florida, Central Arkansas, Sam Houston, Florida International, New Mexico State, Delaware, 215 C-Dub, Miami, number 22, Clemson, Fox Sports 1, number 23, Utah State, Grand Canyon, USA, St. Bonaventure, and LaSalle, Longwood, Radford, Northern Iowa, Valpo at 3, Drake, UIC, Quinnipiac, Merrimack, UMass, Northern Illinois, Penn, Dartmouth, Coastal, Georgia Southern, Jacksonville, North Alabama, Kennesaw State, Western Kentucky, UTEP, Liberty, 3:30, Georgia State, UL Monroe, SEC Network, Missouri, LSU, 4 o'clock, ESPN, number 1, Arizona, UCF, NBC, number 4, Michigan, Oregon, Big Ten Network, number 8, Nebraska, Northwestern, ACC Network, number 14, North Carolina, Cal, ESPN 2, number 17, Arkansas, number 21, Georgia, Indiana State, Murray State, Texas Southern, Alcorn State, Richmond, St. Louis, CBS Sports Network, Prairie View, Jackson State, Nevada Air Force, Charleston, Stony Brook, Mercer, UNC Greensboro, UC San Diego, Bakersfield, Lamar, Nichols, Louisiana, South Alabama, JMU, Marshall, Moore State, Texas State, Western Illinois, Little Rock, Texas Arlington, Utah Valley, 4:30, Howard, NC Central, Norfolk State, SC State, Morgan State, Delaware State, Coppin State, Maryland Eastern, Southeast Louisiana, A&M Corpus Christi, East Texas A&M, Houston Christian, Arkansas State, Troy, Southern Miss, Texas State, Southern Indiana, Tennessee State, Lindenwood, Tennessee, Martin, 4:45, SIU, Edwardsville, Southeast Missouri State, 5 o'clock, UNLV, San Jose State, Southern Grambling, Wofford, Furman, UC Irvine, UC Davis, Northwestern State, Incarnate Word, Northern Arizona, Portland State, Louisiana Tech, Jacksonville State, 5:15, Kansas City, South Dakota State, 5:30, McNeese, Texas, Rio Grande, 6 o'clock on Peacock, number 5, Purdue, USC, ACC Network, number 6, Duke, Stanford, Big Ten Network, number 12, Michigan State, Washington, Pacific, Oregon State, CBS Sports Network, Colorado, West Virginia, Bethune, Mississippi Valley State, ESPN2, Wake, Florida State, Stephen F. Austin, New Orleans, Eastern Washington, Idaho State, ESPN, Texas A&M, Texas, SEC Network, South Carolina, Auburn, Missouri State, Middle Tennessee, 6:30, Florida A&M, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, 7 o'clock, Belmont, Southern Illinois, St. Mary's, Santa Clara, Wyoming, Fresno, SC Upstate, High Point, Robert Morris, Kentucky, LAU, Fairleigh Dickinson, Campbell, UNC Wilmington, Citadel, VMI, Belmont, Eastern Kentucky, Austin Peay, Lipscomb, 8 o'clock, ESPN, number 11, BYU, number 15, Texas Tech, ESPN 2, number 20, Louisville, Pitt, CBS Sports Arc, New Mexico, San Diego State, Long Beach State, Cal State, Northridge, Fullerton, UC Riverside, on Peacock, St. John's, Villanova, Omaha, Oral Roberts, 8:30, SEC Network, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Abilene Christian, Southern Utah, Portland, LMU at 9, Hawaii, Santa Barbara, Montana State, Idaho, Weber State, Tarleton, Utah Tech, number 9, Gonzaga at Seattle at 10, on CBS Sports Network, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Northern Colorado, Sacramento State. Sunday, 12 o'clock, ESPNU, FAU, Temple, Big Ten Network, Penn State, Maryland, 1 o'clock, American Army, 2 o'clock, ESPNU, Wichita State, South Florida, Charlotte, East Carolina, Oakland, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Purdue, Fort Wayne, 3 o'clock, Tulsa, UAB, 5 o'clock, ESPN2, North Texas, Tulane, 6 o'clock, ESPNU, UTSA, Memphis, 6:30, ESPN, number 7, Houston, hosted Arizona State, and then 7 o'clock, Washington State, San Francisco. So not a lot of games in college basketball on Sunday. Is there any matinee on Monday? Yes, that's good to know. Glad I checked that one. All right, now we'll move on to the NBA. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Tonight's not busy for a Friday, amazingly enough. Yesterday for a Thursday was busy. From Berlin, Magic over the Grizzlies, 118-111. Pistons over the Suns, 108-105. Celtics over the Heat, 119-114. Thunder over the Rockets, 111-91. Spurs over the Bucks, 119-101. Mavs over the Jazz, 144-122. Warriors over the Knicks, 126-113. Blazers over the Hawks, 117-101. And the Hornets over the Lakers, 135-117. All right, 7 o'clock, Pelicans, Pacers. My line is the Pacers by 1. And it is 4.5, 241.5. I'll take New Orleans to cover 4.5. ESPN, Cavs, Sixers. Line is Sixers, 6.625. It's 2.5 and 233.5. That's low. I'm going to lay it with Philly. 7:30 Bulls Nets. I have Brooklyn 1.75, and it's Chicago by 1 until 225.5. I'll take Brooklyn plus the 1 and minus 108 to win. Brooklyn might close as a favorite in that game. Clippers Raptors. I have the Raptors 8.875, and it's 2 and 212.5. I'm laying the 2 with the Raptors. I don't know why it's that low. Um, 9:30 ESPN T-Wolves Rockets. I have the Rockets 6.375. It's 4.5 and 221.5. I like the over, even though there's no Anthony Edwards. And 10 o'clock Wizards Kings. I have the Kings 7.625, and it's 7 and 233.5. Tough one, but I'm gonna go with the over. All right, Saturday, 5 o'clock, Jazz Mavs, 7:30, Suns Knicks on NBA TV. Celtics Hawks, Pacers Pistons, 8 o'clock, Thunder Heat, T-Wolves Spurs, 8:30 Hornets Warriors, 9 o'clock Wizards Nuggets, and 10 o'clock NBA TV Lakers Blazers. Sunday, 12 o'clock on Prime Video from London, Magic Grizzlies. 7 o'clock Nets Bulls, Pelicans Rockets, 8 o'clock Hornets Nuggets, 9 o'clock Blazers Kings, and 9:30 the Raptors against the Lakers. Okay, now move on to hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Sabres over the Habs 5-3, Pens over the Flyers 6-3, Sharks over the Caps 3-2, Jackets over the Canucks 4-1, Bruins over the Kraken 4-2, Jets over the Wild 6-2, Flames over the Blackhawks 3-1, Mammoth over the Stars 2-1, Isles over the Oilers 1-0, and the Golden Knights over the Leafs 6-5 in OT. All right, 5 games tonight. 7 o'clock, NHL Network, Sharks, Red Wings. Good game. Surprisingly good game. The Sharks are not bad. They might sneak into the wild card or even top 3 in that Pacific Division. Red Wings minus 166. The Sharks are plus 138. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 178. Red Wings minus 1.5 plus 144. For this one, I'm going to go with over 6.5 at minus 102. But this is probably the best game of the night. Panthers Hurricanes rematch of the conference finals. Canes minus 182, Panthers plus 150, over under 5.5, overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Panthers plus 1.5 is minus 168, Canes minus 1.5 plus 136. I think the Panthers can win this game. I'm going to throw a curveball at you, and I think the Panthers are going to beat them plus 150. 8 o'clock, Lightning Blues. Lightning minus 200, Blues plus 164, over under 5.5, overs minus 108, unders minus 112. Bolts minus 1.5 plus 126, Blues plus 1.5 is minus 154. I'm going to go with the under. 9 o'clock, Preds Avs. Avs minus 315, Preds plus 250, over under 6.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Preds plus 1.5 is even money, Avs minus 1.5 minus 122. Rare instance where I'm going to go with an under in the Avs game. Under 6.5 minus 118. And 10:30, Ducks Kings. Kings minus 142, Ducks plus 118, over under 6.5, overs plus 112, unders minus 138. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 10, Kings minus 1.5 plus 168. I'm going to go with the over at plus money, but I don't feel strong about it. All right, Saturday, 12:30, NHL Network, Wild Sabres, 1 o'clock, Rangers Flyers, 3 o'clock, Isles Flames, 5 o'clock, Kraken Mammoth, 7 o'clock, Habs Sens, Canes Devils, Jackets Pens, Panthers Caps, NHL Network, Leafs Jets, 8 o'clock, Bruins Blackhawks, 10 o'clock, Oilers Canucks, Preds Golden Knights, and Kings Ducks. Sunday the 18th, 2 o'clock, NHL Network, Lightning Stars, 5 o'clock, Sens Red Wings, and 8 o'clock, Blues Oilers. Okay, now we'll move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and today. And we have games to pick for tonight and we'll get to the weekend. Yesterday, Spanish Copa del Rey. Valencia over Burgos 2-0. Barcelona over Racing Santander 2-0. FC Augsburg Union Berlin 1-1 draw. Bologna over Verona 3-2. Milan over Como 3-1. Women's Cup Everton over West Brom 5-1. Dutch Heerenveen over RKC Waldrich 3-1. FC Volendam Sparta Rotterdam 2-1. It's the KNVB Becker, by the way. Club friendly RB Salzburg over Red Star 2-0. And then today, La Liga, Girona over Espanyol 2-0. Bundesliga, Frankfurt Bremen 3-3 draw. Serie A, Atalanta Pisa 1-1 draw. French League 1, Lorient over AS Monaco 3-1. And PSG over Lille 3-0. ELC, Borough over West Brom 3-2. Pro League, Al Najma Al Fateh 1-1 draw. Al Khalij over Al Khaloud 4-1. And Al Ettifaq over Al Ittihad 1-0. Women's FA Cup, West Ham over Newcastle 3-0. Scottish Cup, Rangers over Annan Athletic 5-0. All right, one game tonight, 10 o'clock, Liga MX, Mazatlan, Monterrey. We're going to pick it. Monterrey minus 190, Mazatlan plus 450. The draw is 3-1. Under 2.5 at plus 104. All right, so tomorrow, EPL, 7:30, USA Network, Man United, Man City. 10 o'clock, Peacock, Chelsea, Brentford. Also on Peacock, Leeds, Fulham. USA, Liverpool, Burnley. Peacock, Sunderland, Crystal Palace. On Peacock, Tottenham, West Ham. And 12:30 on Big NBC, Nottingham Forest, Arsenal. La Liga, 8 o'clock, Real Madrid, Levante. 10:15, Mallorca Athletic Club. 12:30, Osasuna, Real Oviedo. 3 o'clock, Real Betis, Villarreal. Bundesliga, 9:30, Dortmund, St. Pauli, FC Cologne, Mainz. Hamburg, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Hoffenheim, Leverkusen. Wolfsburg, Heidenheim. And 12:30, RP Leipzig, Bayern Munich. Liga MX, 6 o'clock, Necaxa, Atlas. Guadalajara, Querétaro. 8 o'clock, Tigres, Toluca. 10 o'clock, Cruz Azul, Puebla. And Tijuana, Athletic de San Luis. Cup of Nations, 11 o'clock, Egypt, Nigeria. Serie A, 9 o'clock, Udinese, Inter. 12 o'clock, Napoli, Sassuolo. 2:45, Cagliari, Juventus. French League 1, 11 o'clock, Lens, Ajax, Auxerre. 1 o'clock, Toulouse, Nice. And 3 o'clock, Angers, Marseille. ELC's a busy slate. 7:30, CBS Sports Star, Coventry City, Leicester City. Ipswich, Blackburn, Watford, Millwall. 10 o'clock, Charlton Athletics, Sheffield United. Oxford United, Bristol City. Preston, Derby County. Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth. Southampton, Hull City. Stoke City, Queen's Park. That's CBS Sports Network 2. Wrexham, Norwich City. And 12:30, Swansea, Birmingham City. Dutch Yard, Devizes, 10:30. Ajax, Go Ahead Eagles. 12:45, PC's Volley, Axiac Mar. 2 o'clock, Excelsior, Telstar, Fortuna, PSV. And 3 o'clock, NEC Breda, NEC Nijmegen. The Pro League, 8:30, Al Fayha, Damak. 10 o'clock, Al Khaloud, Al-Li. And 12:30, Al Nasser, Al Shabab. International Friendly, 10 o'clock, Canada, Guatemala. Women's Cup, 7:15, Sunderland, London City. And 7:30, Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Scottish Cup, 7:30, Dunfermline, Hibernian. 10 o'clock, Adriana's, Arabath. Camlin Juniors, Elgin City. Dundee United, Ayr United. Kelty Hearts, Cove Rangers on Kilmarnock, Dundee. Livingston, St. Mirren. Motherwell, Ross County. Patrick Thistle, Montrose. Spartans FC in Intervest. Stenhousemer, Greenock. Strayer in Queen's Park. And 3 o'clock, Hearts in Falkirk. EPL, 9 o'clock, USA, Wolverhampton, Newcastle, and 11:30, Aston Villa, Everton. La Liga, 8 o'clock, Getafe, Valencia. 10:15, Atletico Madrid, Alaves. 12:30, Celta Vigo, Rayo. And 3 o'clock, Real Sociedad, Barcelona. Bundesliga, 9:30, VfB Stuttgart, FC Union Berlin. And 11:30, FC Augsburg, FC Freiburg. Liga MX, 1 o'clock, Unam Lyon. 6 o'clock, Santos, FC Juarez. 8 o'clock, Pachuca, America. Cup of Nations in Africa, 2 o'clock, Senegal, Morocco. Serie A, 6:30, Parma, Genoa, 9 o'clock, Bologna, Fiorentina, 12 o'clock, Torino, AS Roma, 2:45, AC Milan, Lecce. French League 1, 9 o'clock, Strasbourg, Metz, 11:15, Nantes, Paris FC, Stade Rennes, and Le Havre AC, and 2:45, Lyon and Brest. Dutch Eredivisie, 6:15, Heerenveen, FC Groningen, 8:30, FC Volendam, FC Utrecht, Heracles, FC 20, and 10:45, Feyenoord and Sparta. Pro League, 10:15, Al Hazem, Al Qadish, 12:30, Al Raida, Al Tawoun, and Neom FC and Al Hilal. International friendly, Bolivia and Panama. French Premier League, 7 o'clock, Paris FC at OL Lions. And the Scottish Cup, 9:30, Aberdeen and Wraith Rovers, and 12:30, Olenek Talbot and Celtic. Wow, so that was a lot of soccer today. Okay, now we'll move on to the NFL divisional round. This is what you came here for today. I'll give out my 4 picks. They'll all count towards the playoff picks. So first up, tomorrow afternoon, 4:30, CBS and Paramount, Bills, Broncos. My line is Denver by 4 till 45 and 17/20. And it's 1.5 and 46.5. I'm going to lay to 1.5 with Denver. The Bills open as a favorite. Now the Broncos are the rightful favorite. The Bills are getting guys back on defense, which is good, but home field advantage, better coached. The better quarterback's on the other side. We all know that. But this is a team game, not a quarterback game. And I know the quarterback can put the team on his back, which we saw last week. I think the Bills can win, but I'm going to lay 1.5 with Denver for pick number 1. Pick number 2, 8 o'clock on Fox, 49ers, Seahawks. On the call, this game will be, by the way, the first game is Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. Second game will be Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, and Aaron Andrews and Tom Rinaldi. Great game. So, we don't know about Sam Darnold. My line right now is Seahawks 9.5. Total 46 and 9/20. And that is obviously with Darnold, and without Darnold I have 5.5. And right now it's 7 and 44.5. This is a hard one. This is all based on Darnold. But right now I have to lay the 7 with Seattle. I mean, I don't want to. I know it's a tough environment to play. I don't trust Sam Darnold. I don't think he should be favored by this much over anybody. But the 49ers injuries are just crazy right now. And that's why my projection for this game is so high. I hate to do it, but I'm going to lay it. 3 o'clock, ESPN and ABC, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Lisa Salters on the call. Texans, Patriots. My line is the Pats by 7 till 43 and 2/5, and it's 3 and 40.5. I'm laying the 3 New England, so right now I'm on all the favorites. No Nico Collins is a big deal, and they're the better coach team, so I'm going to lay the points. And then 6:30 on NBC and Peacock, the Rams against the Bears from Chicago. My line's the Bears by 1, total 51 and 1/5, and it's 3.5 and 48.5. I'm going to take the home underdog in the Chicago Bears. It's the only underdog I'm taking on the board. Unless if Darnold doesn't play, then I'm going to have to take San Francisco. But this is my underdog I'm going to take. So, taking all the home teams this week. So I'm going to take the plus 3.5 and plus 172 outright. I mean, I do actually think that the Rams are probably going to win. But I just think the Bears cover. I'll put it that way. My line says Bears. So just to be different, I am going to actually take the Rams to win. But I just think the Bears cover the 3.5. So one road team will win. All the teams that are favored will win, but one underdog will cover. And that'll be the Chicago Bears. So I'm going to take the Bears plus 3.5. I'm going to take a flyer on plus 172. I actually don't think my gut tells me that they're not going to win. So there you have it for the picks. Now move on to golf. We'll look at the leaderboard for the Sony Open. So right now, your leader. Yeah, there's 3-way or 4-way. My bad. 9 under. Davis Riley, Adrian DeMontechazert, S.H. Kim, Chris Goddard. Tied for 5th, 8 under. Kevin Roy, Matt McNeely. Tied for 7th with 7 under. Ryan Gerard, Vincent Willey, Patrick Rogers, Nick Taylor, John Vanderlaan. Tied for 12th with 6 under. Doug Gim, Sudarshan Yilamarju, Jake Knapp, Harry Hall, Ben Griffin, John Parry. Tied for 18th with 5 under. Dylan Wu, Saiwo Kim, Adam Svensson, Michael Kim, Denny McCarthy, Nick Dunlap. Tied for 24th with 4 under. Jordan Spieth, Brian Harman, Daniel Berger, Ren Yanazawa, Bryce Garnett, Alex Smalley, David Ford, Hatong Lee, Chandler Phillips, Takumi Kanaya, Ricky Castillo. Tied for 35th with 3 under. Lee Hodges, Dan Brown, Joe Highsmith, Jordan Smith, Emiliano Grillo, Kurt Katayama, Russell Henley, Kensei Hirata. Tied for 43rd with 2 under. Bud Coley, Tom Hogue, Mark Hubbard, Zach Blair, Zach Johnson, Vijay Singh, Austin Eckler, Taylor Pendrith, Adam Scott, JJ Spawn, Pearson Cootie, S.T. Lee, Danny Walker, Zachung Du. Tied for 57th with 1 under. Webb Simpson, Chad Remy, Hideki Matsuyama, Billy Horschel, Johnny Kiefer, Matt McCarthy, Mac Meisner, Jacob Bridgman, Sam Stevens, Eric Goodroy, Cenas Power, Cam Davis, Rico Hoey, Tom Kim, Robert McIntyre, Kota Kaneko, Yuta Segura, Alejandro Toast. And then 75th at even, Austin Smothering, Bayo Hostler, Keegan Bradley, Eric Cole, Emiliano Gonzalez, Zach Buchel, Matt Pavon, Corey Connor, Stephen Fisk, Aaron Ray. Tied for 85th with 1 over. Now do notables. Rafael Campos, Chris Kirk, Max McGreevy, Gary Woodland. That was my pick. Not projected to make the cut. Tied for 95th with 2 over. Hank Lebioda, Matt Ty Schmid, Colin Morikawa. Not projected to make the cut either. Tied for 102nd, 3 over. Brian Campbell, Adam Schenk. 111th with 6 overs, Tony Finau. Tied for 112th with 7 over. Nico Echevarria. Tied for 115th, 8 over. Peter Malnati. So there you have it for the golf. Now we'll move on to on this day. This is going to be an interesting one. This is very Eagles heavy, I see. 2013, the Eagles hired Chip Kelly away from Oregon. A lot of people thought that was a great hire at the time. 2024, Jason Kelsey retiring. 2020, Carlos Beltran steps down amid Astro scandal. He was supposed to be the manager of the Mets, and he had to step down, and they had to hire Luis Rojas instead. 2019, Jalen Hurts transfers to Oklahoma from Alabama. 2013, Monte Teo involved in the hoax. That was crazy. The hoax. 2020, the Baylor Bears hire Dave Aranda. He's doing a great job there. 2023, the Cowboys eliminate the Buccaneers in Tom Brady's final game. I kind of don't remember that. Oh, wait a second. Now I do. It's coming back to me. It was in Tampa, and that was the game that the kicker, Mater, on Dallas missed like 4 extra points. For some reason, I was thinking that this game was in Dallas. 2016, Orioles re-signed Chris Davis. 2015, Bears hired John Fox. Last year, Bob Uecker passes away, the former Milwaukee announcer. 2016, Cardinals defeat Packers in the divisional round. That was the game Aaron Rodgers found Richard Rodgers for the Hail Mary in the end zone. And the Cardinals won it in overtime. And in 2013, the Bears hired Mark Trestman, who was not a good football coach. So there you have it for on this day. Now move on to the news and notes. The John Harbaugh Giants deal is not done yet. This morning it was reported that there's still some stuff that had to be settled in the deal. As Schefter said, Giants and John Harbaugh are still working through details of their contract, and it's not yet done. The final issues aren't over money, it's over language. There is no derailment and nothing has changed. One source said talks continue, and the two sides are working to get it across the finish line. So it's going to get across the finish line. And then Gary Myers reported that the press conference is going to be the day after Martin Luther King Day, which is the 20th. Bill Belichick will be on the Natty broadcast as he'll be guest analyst of ACC Network's coverage of Miami, Indiana. We'll obviously pick that game on Monday's show. Overlooked NFL draft prospects. I don't know why I just said that. Bo Bichette signed with the Mets in a surprising free agent move. I thought it was a panic move by the Mets, as he signed 3 years, $126 million. I think this was a desperation signing for the Mets as they missed out on Kyle Tucker. We'll get to that in a second. And he's going to be playing third base for the Mets. I don't think that makes up for the loss of Pete Alonso or Edwin Diaz, obviously, but or Brandon Nimmo, but hey, it's something. And obviously we alluded to Kyle Tucker, 4 years on and $240 million with the Dodgers. That's an absurd contract. He's a great player. He just didn't have a good year last year. He's going to be making $60 million a year. And the best stat I saw was that he had 1 RBI last year more than Anthony Volpe and three more home runs. That's the funniest stat I saw all year. But yeah, it's a big pickup for the Dodgers. I just don't like the contract. The contract's too crazy. If you have stats close to Anthony Volpe's stats, then you should not be making $60 million a year. The Bucks interview Mike McDaniel for their offensive coordinator position. I think that would be an interesting fit. The Raptors are gauging player values as they're on the phones about RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. Damn, they don't like those guys that they got in the OG Anunoby trade. The Rockets' potential trade plans as Houston has talked with half the league ahead of the deadline, according to Yahoo. So Duke's quarterback is transferring. Darian Mensah. Tennessee's not in on him. The Seahawks are optimistic on Sam Darnold. Mike McDonald's confident that Darnold will suit up against the Niners. CC Sabathia had a post after the Bo Bichette deal. I don't think the Yankees needed Bo Bichette. I think they need to re-sign Cody Bellinger, and that's what the Stars are aligning up, because if the Mets went for Bo Bichette, they're not signing Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is probably going back to the Yankees on whatever deal they offer him, because Cody Bellinger thinks he's hot shit, thinking that he deserves a 7-year deal. That's way too much. I think what the Yankees offered for Cody Bellinger was fair. I just think Cody Bellinger is overrating himself as a player. That's all. And the Twins signed Victor Caratini 2-year deal. I don't know where the rest of the news and notes went, but I think I accidentally deleted all the stuff I had lined up. But I pretty much hit the important stuff with John Harbaugh, Bo Bichette, Kyle Tucker. Jonathan Kuminga was yet to be traded. but that has to happen sooner rather than later. All right, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to college basketball again. That's been my lucky spot. I do like some stuff in the association as well. And where I'm gonna go is Colorado State plus 5.5 against Boise State. I just think Boise State's an overrated basketball team, and just to fade them is just music to my ears. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna take Colorado State plus 5.5 against Boise. Honorable mention and apologies to the Raptors minus the points against the Clippers. And the other one I liked in the NBA was the Sixers minus 2.5 against Cleveland. Apologies to those two, but neither of those are going to get best bet because I have some trust issues with Joel Embiid, and the Clippers are very hit or miss. So I like that Colorado State call. So there you have it for the show. I'll be back Monday recapping the NFL Divisional round games and all the other sports. And then we'll preview the Natty on Monday. That's going to be fun between Miami and Indiana. So hope you guys have a great weekend, everyone.